Hola, my name is Ramon, cosmetic formulator, esthetician. And speaking of esthetician, as you guys know, I recently did my esthetician course this summer, finished, got certified and all that. I kind of wanted to come on and share what specific aspects that I learned in esthie school were aspects that I did or ended up incorporating in my normal skincare routine. And so with that, today we're coming at you with a routine video. You can tell I'm in my bathroom. And I'm going to be sharing with you the specific techniques that I learned in esthie school that you might be doing in your skincare routine or that maybe you should be. So in true bathroom routine fashion, I have my headband. Let me get this going. This is actually the one they issued us in esthie school. So official. Obviously the first step is cleansing. Before we get into cleansing, we need clean hands. It's like rule number one in esthie school. So let me wash my hands real quick. So hands are clean, and obviously when we are doing a facial, meeting a client for the first time, for example, and you need to assess their skin. I am my client, I know my skin, but actually the way we go about that is you would do an initial cleanse, a first cleanse. And we're all familiar with a first cleanse here on this channel. But one of the things that was really interesting in esthie school, that was a practice that I've done, I know this, but I think a lot of people aren't aware of this, is that to do a first cleanse, it doesn't need to be an oil cleanser. You can do a double cleanse with a regular like gel cleanser or milk cleanser, whatever. I know we like teach that like you need oil to dissolve oil, and that's why we use oil cleansers, but realistically surfactants that are in cleansers actually can do a fairly decent job of getting rid of water resistant sunscreen, makeup, sebum, all that, but it might not be able to do that all in one go, and so double cleansing can be very, very important. In esthie school, we generally just only use milk or like cream based cleansers, and so for example, when I was doing my training, they had us do like a milk based sensitive skin friendly cleanser to do the initial first cleanse, so then afterwards we could like decently assess the client's skin without any stuff on it. So a lot of the girls actually were having reactions to the like very fragranced products that we used in class. So they actually allowed us to bring in our own, and you guys know I actually have like an obnoxious amount of skincare. So I was actually bringing in different kinds of cleansers to play with. And one of the ones that I actually enjoyed the most, and a lot of the girls that I worked on really liked, was the cleanser from Tecco, their VHS cleanser. This is a mildly foaming, like lathering cleanser. It smells amazing and it feels great on the skin. And so this is one I use a lot on the girls to do the first and second cleanses. But today I'm going to be using a different cleanser. This is from Dr. Sam. This is their Flawless Cleanser. This is a really interesting gel-based cleanser because it doesn't feature any surfactants I'm really familiar with, and it uses a very gentle, very mild surfactant system to be able to cleanse the skin. So the way we do it in esthie school is we take the cleanser, we'd wet our hands slightly, and then we'd start to massage that on the face. And the first time you do this, it's terrifying because you're like touching someone else for the first time in this manner, and it's like, I don't know how to like touch someone else's face. Am I using like the adequate amount of pressure? Does this hurt them? Like, what's the deal? But by like the third or fourth facial, this was a breeze. You can see it's not foaming, it's not lathering, it's just a very like true gel milk cleanser. But basically you would start and slowly work this to the skin, gradually emulsifying it further and further, making sure you're breaking down all the makeup, sebum, and grime on the client's face. So you've taken that first cleanse, you worked it on the client's face, emulsified it a bunch, and now you need to get it off. One of the really interesting things about esthie school that was really new to me, and I've incorporated a little bit more into my routine, is utilizing tools to like cleanse, but I'm not talking like Euphoria, like a cleansing device. It's like things to take off the cleanse. And I know people do that with specifically like washcloths or flannels, depending on where you're from. I don't like to do that necessarily, especially because I just primarily oil cleanse. I'll just take the oil, massage, emulsify, rinse off, and I'm good. But having this done to me and doing it myself now, it's something that I'm like, oh, this is like not a bad practice. I really enjoy it. We would use sponges in class, little like esthie facial sponges. I lost mine, don't know where they are right now. You could use cotton rounds, disposable or reusable ones. These are the ones I have from Purito. These are really good options. Ones that I've been using recently, I got in PR from a brand called Coastal Citizen, are these really cute little like terry cloth ones. What I like about these is that they are black. So if you have makeup, they won't stain. But basically you would take the little, whatever you're going to use, pads or whatever, wet them, and then use that to gently massage the product off the client's face. And then once you're done with that and the makeup's off, you would go and like analyze the client's skin, figure out what you're trying to do, treat, and products you want to use, and that's that. Now that that's off my face, let me go and do a regular cleanse. I'm going to be using the Tecco cleanser for that, so BRB. So we are back, we're fully cleansed. So usually at this point, after you do the cleanse, you've figured out what you're trying to focus on with your client, and plus when they come in, they tell you what they're trying to address as well, or what their concerns are at least. We would do a specific set of treatments, and for example, a standard facial, you would go and you actually would exfoliate. In esthie school, we didn't do chemical exfoliants, we used physical scrubs, and I'm actually a big fan of physical scrubs. I'm actually working on a video right now talking about my favorite physical exfoliants. I know St. Ives did a lot of us dirty back in the day, but not all physical exfoliants are bad. They're actually really good ones. And I think where we are now in the skincare industry, a lot of brands are creating really, really nice ones. You know, for example, I really like the Human Race physical exfoliant. Naturium has this one, their like rice enzyme cleanser, but they also have their new one they launched, the half step exfoliator. It's a really nice one as well. I think the reason they didn't use chemical exfoliants in SE school and they rather use physical is just like you don't run the risk of like chemically burning someone, even though for me, like exfoliation is exfoliation. Physical also runs its own set of risks. But yeah, we would use physical exfoliants, and in the same way you would use a cleanser, you would take the product, work it into the skin, slowly add more moisture to it so you get a lot more slip, but like gently massage, especially if they have more oily skin or congestion, and like the T-zone around the nose in the middle of the forehead. I exfoliated yesterday, so I'm not about to do all this, but that was definitely an interesting perspective to have in ST school, especially because I think clients get a specific set of gratification when they feel that exfoliant like doing its work. To them in their head, they're like, oh, like it's working, they're really exfoliating my skin, whereas the chemical exfoliant wouldn't give them that same feeling. So fun facts. I definitely do want to further my education in this field and like do a lot more work around chemical peels and whatnot, but I don't got time for that right now. So in the facial, after you would have exfoliated, you would then proceed generally onto steaming and extractions. We all know on this channel, pores don't open and close. In my mind, what steaming does is it really creates a specific like atmosphere and ambiance for a client where they feel like they're getting a quality facial done to them. They're feeling very relaxed. To me, it also helps to soften the skin. It starts to dampen the skin, and like damp skin is a lot easier to work on. So we generally do a little facial steam for them, and then we'd go in with extractions. I don't got nothing to extract right now, first of all. Two main things to point out is you don't just go in with your fingers, you grab your little dirty fingers and just try to squeeze out a zit. And in the UK, they actually don't teach us to extract with specific tools like needles to poke or any like metal extraction tools. We just use either tissues wrapped around fingers, or I personally prefer a Q-tip. I know Terrell Britton, another friend of mine, another esthie friend of mine, he does the same thing. He does feature it a lot on his like platforms when he does his own extractions on him. You take a Q-tip, you can take two. I don't like to waste, so what I do is I'll take a Q-tip and I'll cut it in half as such, and then on like freshly cleansed skin that's like been probably exfoliated and is a little bit more soft, you're able to go in and then like gently squeeze, apply the pressure where you need it. If you gotta push too hard, it's not worth it. Let it be, pop on a pimple patch and give it a day or two, and then you'll be good to do that. But that was definitely something I was really interested in as well, because I love watching like pimple popping videos. My boyfriend and I specifically, there's one esthetician, her name is Jada Kennedy, aka Urban Extractions. Her videos are like everything because she's really entertaining to listen to, and she shows like ingrown extractions and like blackhead extractions. Check her out. But seeing those videos and like how American esthees handle skin and do extractions, how we got taught over here in the UK was very different for me. One of the other things that we get taught in esthie school that's a really interesting practice that I technically do a lot when I do my own skincare routine is you use toners a lot. And granted, the toners they use in clinics can vary substantially. Are they more astringent? Are they really fragranced or whatnot? I obviously have a plethora of toners, but you basically use toners within each step. It's like very, very soothing, very, very nice feeling for the clients, and it helps keep the skin damp and so it doesn't get really dry and like tight for the client. To kind of mimic what we used to use in class, I'm going in with the Keep Cool and Soothe toner, which is just a generally very hydrating toner. Not a lot extra going on because again, at this point, we've double cleansed, we've extracted, we've exfoliated. I just really want to go in and hydrate and soothe the skin. One of the two main things we learned in SE school is lymphatic drainage. We know like the lymphatic system essentially runs parallel to the circulatory system. It's like the circulatory system's sister. Lymphatic drainage is really, really popular. It's kind of like the big hype around gua sha. It essentially promotes the movement of the lymph so that it can be like cleaned out and like cycled through the body. You have really puffy face. Doing lymphatic massage helps to get that puffiness out of your face, helps to remove that lymph, massage it to where it needs to go, and helps to flush it out. You have lymph nodes down here in this area, here underneath the mandible, lymph nodes here, here. And so essentially the way we did them in class was we would work to get the lymph, work it up, get it into this area and bring it up here, and then bring the lymph from the face across to here and across and down to here. The second biggest thing we learned in SD school and that can be incorporated into that practice is using devices. Two of my favorite electrotherapies that we learned in SD school was, first of all, high frequency. High frequency is this like really cool device. It has like this glass wand and it like buzzes, and essentially you have this gel on your face, and when you take that buzzing wand that has high frequency in it, come in contact with that specific gel medium, it oxidizes and you get ozone, and that like is really great for oily, acne prone skin, congestion, problematic skin, which my skin skin reacted so well to that. Love that treatment. But the second treatment that was really interesting to me was microcurrents. And microcurrent actually, in my mind, ties back to the lymphatic drainage, and it's actually what I'm going to be highlighting in today's video. As you guys know, I am a Minikube ambassador, and they actually sent me their HR device, which is essentially a mini microcurrent device. And so what microcurrent is essentially a form of electrotherapy where you have microcurrents that are administered into the skin. You have a different kind of medium. It's a specific kind of gel that you need on your skin to make it work. What microcurrent is really beneficial for is lifting, toning, and re-educating the muscles in the face. Essentially, they kind of tout it as like non-surgical facelifts. And are the results that extreme? Not necessarily, but with really consistent usage of microcurrent treatments on the face, you actually can get really great results. Google it. The befores and afters that we saw when we were like learning about it in class were actually really, really interesting. And so where devices like this come into play is the fact that you get the benefit of the microcurrent treatments at home. Again, this one is specifically from Minikube. And as I mentioned, you do need a specific medium to have this work properly on the face. And so they do have their HR booster gel. You have these two little nodules here, and these do rotate. So as you're sliding them across the face, you're getting a really, really, really beautiful, really nice massage. And so in itself, you can just use this as a massage device, no actual microcurrent being administered. You're able to slide this across the face, really help to tone and lift. Also, these are really cool. They're not hot, so it's like really cooling on the face. In that regard, you're getting the benefit of lymphatic drainage. With the actual microcurrent benefits, this actually has a few different settings. You have slim, which helps to essentially slim the face. In my mind, that's more like depuffing, helping to reduce the look of a really swollen face. The up mode, and that's really where you get that lifting, that toning, that re-educating I told you about. And then you have a body setting, which is actually really unique. When we're learning it in class, there's two different types of devices we use for face versus body. The way this is designed and shaped, you have a specific angling that is really similar to how the esthetician is able to maneuver and massage using the devices, but also these are intended to mimic the actual like shape of thumb. So as you're massaging, it feels like an esthetician is massaging your face. And just to show you guys how it works, so basically we're going to take the HR gel and we're going to dispense some across the face, massage it in. You do this after you cleanse. And again, the specific type of gel is important because you need a specific type of product on the face to act as a conduit for the microcurrent. So once it's on, you see I have the three different settings. Right now it's set to slim. I want it to up, the lifting one. So I'm going to hold it down to change, and then you can actually change the intensity from low to medium to high to like really high. We're gonna start on medium today. And then basically you just massage it across the face. And again, because I'm looking at the more like lifting one right now, I'm just going up and following the contours of the face. But basically, and you can hear it beeping. Oh, I feel it. And things you can actually like feel this like a little surge of vibration. There was a few different ways of like learning how to do the microcurrent massage to get specific benefits. So you have like the like massaging one to help lift and contour, but then you have the actual like lifting one to help like re-educate and re-contour the muscle. So it's like lifting the muscle and holding it. And you can actually see my eyes like twitching. That's the microcurrent. So this is on the medium setting too. It's not even on like the high setting. So, oh, I feel like my scalp is like pulsating. Okay, which is normal. That happened to us in class too, but it's still on areas that are more bony where you don't have as much like fat or whatever. I do lower it because this directly on bone can kind of get a little bit intense. So right now it's on low. And then for like areas around the eyes, like crow's feet, for example, it's a matter of lifting. And if you want to hold, like if you want to like lift a little bit, again, lifting and holding it in place for about 5 to 10 seconds. It helps to recontour, it helps to smooth out fine lines, it helps to really lift muscle. That's to be with consistent treatment. What's nice about this is you have the advantage of an at-home device you can use a few times throughout the week regularly, but also this might be something you use to supplement more intense treatments. So I don't know if you're going to get actual filler or like actual surgery done or whatnot, or if you go to see an actual facialist. This could be something you do in between sessions with esthetician approval to help maintain or further the results and treatment that you're going to get, or with consistent usage over a long period of time, then you'll start to see the results of this. This is not something you're going to use twice and like have a magically different face. When it comes to like the shoulders and neck, you take the gel, apply it where you want to, massaging, smoothing, lifting if you want. You're not trying to get like a shoulder lift like you would a facelift. That electric impulse does a lot to really stimulate that muscle, and you do feel it, which is really, really nice when you have like sore muscles after a workout. One thing I really appreciate about the HR gel is the fact that this is a gel that you can leave on. It actually has its own skincare benefits. You have adenosine and licorice extract and a few other ingredients that are going to help really soothe the skin. So this is in itself microcurrent gel, but also a really nice skincare clear gel that has its soothing properties, which are really nice to pair along with that microcurrent. So you don't have to rinse this off afterwards. So with that being said, I'm going to go in with a moisturizer, and I'm going to be going in with the Paula's Choice Omega Plus Complex Moisturizer. I got this in PR. Been playing around with it since it is now winter time here in London. And as I mentioned, when I got to this point in the facial, this is when I would do like the actual facial massage on the client, because the actual massage we would incorporate involved oil, and I did not like being all oily. I know they didn't either. So as I applied the moisturizer on them, that's when I would really like focus on massaging and like the pressure points around the eye and like really lifting. One of the big surprises for me when we first started the facial was the fact that you do a facial, at least the way we're trained, from like the chest up. This is getting massaged, this is getting cleansed, this is getting treated. And then afterwards we would do aftercare. And that was a big shock to me, is the fact that they actually don't teach you a lot about products or ingredients in esthetician school. And so when you see an esthetician on Twitter or Instagram who actually has a lot of product knowledge and has a lot of ingredient knowledge, that's mostly them doing their own research, taking the time and the effort to learn all that by themselves. And so we'd have clients coming in and I'd be like, well, if you're going to Boots, you want to get this, you want to learn this, you want to like try this product for these things that you want to address. I did well in that regard, and it was a lot of fun kind of teaching the other girls and educating them in that regard. So I think that was the biggest surprise as to like what I didn't get out of the training, was that they don't focus on ingredients or products really, just really on treatments and like techniques. You learn a lot about anatomy and physiology, and so can name all the facial muscles. Fun fact. So with that, those are the esthie school practices that I've incorporated into my routine or have incorporated into my routine that I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know down below in the comment section, have you gotten a facial before? What are some of your favorite parts of the treatment that you've received? Do you do microcurrent or high frequency at home? Again, let me know what high frequency machine you are using, if so. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you know when I post my skincare, sunscreen, and fancy related content on my channel. Give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.